My name is Michael Aegis. I'm the infrastructure leader on Bookham Vanguard. Infrastructure covers all the aspects that are needed for the good running of the village, like the roads, the drainage, utilities, public transport, health, education and the community facilities. The Neighbourhood development plan will be backed up by an infrastructure development plan which will lay out all the infrastructural needs to support the development of the village. And in this video we will try and show some of the aspects that can or cannot be covered by the Neighbourhood plan. Much of the development of Bookham could be to the west of the existing village, and Rectory Lane here will be a vital link from the A246 into this area. Part of the proposals that could be included in the Neighbourhood development plan would be to widen the existing lane up to the A246 and to extend the footway. Critical to the development of Bookham will be consideration of the surface water and foul drainage. There are only 4 main drainage channels in Bookham. For example, critical to any development to the west of the village are the 2 channels to the west and east of Little Bookham Street. Flows in the first are controlled by a series of lakes that act as balancing ponds, and the second is a ditch that runs through Child's Hall and Middlemead, running through an already built up area, and this is in need of continual maintenance. With respect to the foul drainage, one of the issues will be to look closely at the capacity of pipes from Water Lane to Little Bookham Street and from Child's Hall Road to Little Bookham Street. The plan would note the capacity of those pipes and would include a limit on the amount of new development in this area unless improvements could be made and the funding put in place for doing so. The needs of cyclists and pedestrians will be carefully considered in the plan, especially along Lower Road where we are now, to and from Eastwick and the Dorney primary schools and the Howard Secondary School behind me. The sort of proposals that the plan might include for would be the separation of cycleways and footways wherever possible, and possibly the linking of footways and cycleways in the areas of any possible housing development. Additional on and off street parking is already under consideration by Surrey County Council and by Mole Valley District Council. Parking in the centre of the village is already a particular concern. The plan can tackle parking issues with regard to spatial planning and also include a policy concerning any new development to allow sufficient off-street parking in newly developed or redeveloped areas. The provision of public transport facilities is not something that can really be covered by the development plan. At the end of the day, it's up to the operators to decide on their commercial viability. In terms of health, Bookham Vanguard is particularly interested in whether the 2 existing practices in the village will be able to support the increasing population as the village expands. We are already in discussions with the groups to assess their development potential. We will be clearly laying out how much we see the population increasing and what we expect them to be able to support. We are also talking to potential developers to see whether they can finance extra facilities within developments such as health provision. A meeting was held recently with the Howard's management team to discuss the Academy's future development plans. Whilst there are no immediate plans to increase the size of the school, it may be that in future additional classes will need to be added to accommodate increased numbers of Bookham children. The majority of Bookham's secondary school children already go to the Howard of Effingham, and the school's revised admission policy from September 2013 will ensure this continues to be the case even in the short term. However, future housing developments to the west of Bookham may well mean that the overall catchment area for the Howard will have to be decreased, resulting in children living to the east of the village on the Fletcham border having to go to Thurfield in Leatherhead. Bookham is well provided for preschool provision. There are many nursery schools, playgroups in the area. Whilst there may be pressure on places at primary school level in the future, there is the ability to expand the existing facilities at both the village's primary schools without losing too much of the play areas or sports field. Regarding community facilities, Bookham is actually well provided with halls, community centres, but despite this we will be discussing with developers what extra amenities and facilities they might be able to include in their plans for any future developments. Bookham also has a wealth of green infrastructure, being surrounded by green belt on 3 sides, Bookham Common to the north, fields to the west and the North Downs area of outstanding national beauty to the south. Within the village there are also many green areas, 2 recreational grounds, a couple of allotment sites. So Bookham is really well provided, and the plan will aim to preserve these amenities for the village and to enhance them as much as possible.